incredible Irish wife, Chicago.
The WWE Universe will forever remember the night chaos overtook Monday Night Raw. A night where long-standing rivalries reignited and alliances defied expectations. In a shocking turn, two of wrestling's most unstoppable forces, Brock Lesnar and Seth Rollins, joined forces to deliver relentless destruction upon the undisputed Universal Champion, Roman Reigns. Every strike, every move carried years of history, grudges, and unfinished business, making the confrontation more than a match. It was a reckoning. The intensity inside the ring was matched only by the stunned reactions of the crowd, witnessing a collision of power, strategy, and raw emotion. This night redefined chaos in WWE. The night begins with tension. The air inside the arena was electric long before the opening bell. Rumors had been swirling all day. Roman Reigns was set to appear on Raw for the first time in months, and whispers spread through the crowd that the tribal chief had something major to say. When the show opened, the WWE Universe erupted into chants of, "We want Roman." The lights dimmed, the familiar notes of "head of the table" hit, and Reigns stepped through the curtain, championship gleaming on his shoulder, expression unreadable, aura commanding. Accompanied by Solo Sikoa and Paul Heyman, the champion exuded confidence. Every slow, deliberate step he took toward the ring echoed like thunder. Once inside, he raised the title high and let the crowd's divided reaction wash over him. "Acknowledge me," he demanded, and half the crowd obeyed while the other half booed with venom. Roman smirked. "I run this place," he continued. "No one, not Cody, not Seth, not Brock, can touch me. I've beaten them all, and I'm still here. I'm still your tribal chief." Little did he know, those words would summon the very storm that would shatter his dominance. The vision appears. Moments after Roman's declaration, the lights flickered. A haunting laugh echoed through the arena. Familiar, unmistakable. Seth freakin' Rollins. The crowd exploded as his theme, "Burn it down," shook the arena. Rollins appeared on the stage, decked in a black and gold suit, his trademark smirk replaced with a cold glare. He held a microphone, pacing at the top of the ramp. "Roman, Roman, Roman," Rollins drawled, his voice echoing through the arena. "You talk about beating everyone. But you forget who broke the shield. You forget who put the first crack in your empire." The crowd cheered wildly as Roman's expression darkened. Rollins continued, "You've spent years hiding behind your bloodline, demanding everyone acknowledge you. But the truth is, deep down, you know you're terrified. You're terrified of losing control, terrified that your kingdom will crumble the same way our brotherhood did." Roman stepped forward, raising the mic. "You've always been jealous, Seth. You talk too much and fight too little. I made the shield. You just betrayed it." The two stared each other down, years of history and hatred between them. The tension was palpable. But then, everything changed. The beast returns. Suddenly, the arena went dark. The crowd fell silent, for just a moment, before the unmistakable sound of "Brrr! Brock Lesnar!" blasted through the speakers. The roof nearly blew off the building as Brock Lesnar marched down the ramp with a look of pure rage. Heyman's face turned pale. Roman froze. Solo Sikoa stepped in front of his cousin, preparing for battle. But this was no ordinary confrontation. Lesnar's presence was thunderous. Every fan in the building could feel the danger radiating from him. He climbed into the ring, glaring directly at Reigns. For a tense few seconds, no one moved. Heyman screamed from ringside, "Brock, don't do this. Think about what you're doing." But Lesnar was already thinking. And what he was thinking was destruction. All hell breaks loose. Roman lifted his championship slowly, stepping up to Lesnar until they were nose to nose. The tension was unbearable. Then, without warning, Rollins slid into the ring behind Roman and struck him across the back with a steel chair. The crowd exploded into chaos as Roman dropped to one knee. Lesnar wasted no time. He charged forward and speared Reigns through the ropes, sending both men crashing outside the ring. Heyman screamed in horror as Rollins followed, raining down blows with the chair. Lesnar grabbed Roman by the waist and hurled him with a German suplex straight onto the announce table. The table exploded into pieces. Solo Sikoa tried to intervene, but Lesnar caught him mid-swing and F5'd him onto the barricade with brutal force. Rollins laughed maniacally, circling Roman like a predator. "You thought you were untouchable, Roman?" Rollins shouted. "You thought the bloodline would protect you forever, Ben, but tonight, the bloodline bleeds." The audience was in shock. No one had seen Lesnar and Rollins on the same side since their chaotic triple threats years ago. The Beast and the Vision, united by vengeance. The destruction continues. Lesnar wasn't done. He dragged Roman back into the ring like a hunter dragging prey. Rollins stood beside him, shouting orders. "Do it again," he yelled. Lesnar obliged. Another F5, this time right onto Roman's championship belt. The impact echoed through the arena. The tribal chief was motionless. Heyman begged from ringside, "Brock, please, stop. You'll end his career." But Lesnar ignored him. Rollins, breathing heavily, dropped to his knees beside Roman's limp body and whispered into the camera. "This is what happens when you build empires on betrayal." The vision always comes full circle. The camera zoomed in on Roman's battered face, blood trickling down his lip, eyes glazed, body broken. The image was haunting, almost symbolic. The shocking alliance. As Lesnar and Rollins stood tall in the ring, fans tried to make sense of what they were witnessing. This was not a random assault. This was a calculated statement. Rollins raised Lesnar's arm, declaring, "The Beast and the Vision, the new reckoning of WWE." The crowd was split between awe and horror. Lesnar smirked, his chest heaving from the chaos. For once, the Beast seemed to find satisfaction, not in destruction alone, but in partnership. Reigns lay motionless, Solo struggling to rise. The Bloodline's dominance had been shattered, at least for tonight. Roman's defiance. As medics entered the ring to check on Roman, Lesnar and Rollins began to leave. But before they could reach the ramp, the arena filled with the faint sound of a single voice, strained, defiant. Roman, crawling toward the ropes, grabbed the microphone from the mat. His voice was hoarse, but the fire still burned. "You think this is over? You can break my body, but you'll never break my kingdom. The bloodline will rise again." Lesnar turned back, cracking a grin, while Rollins simply clapped slowly, taunting him. The two backed up the ramp, leaving behind a scene of absolute carnage. The fans stood in stunned silence, the echoes of destruction still ringing through the arena.